Okay, that is one setup. What is other setup? So interest tier and charge schedule. This is not mandatory. This is mandatory if you are going to uh, create dynamic rates, like based on the late charge or late payment due dates. Sorry, number of days late. But if you are a flat rate or fixed rate, this interest tier is not required. But you can do that setup. You can verify if you want that. Cancel it. Setup and maintenance. Interest tier. Interest tier means this is from this is a generic interest tier they have created. Like past due, if it is from 1 day, 99 days, all past due. So here you can create a interest tier here, and you have to assign interest rate also. Where is that interest rate? So once you create this interest rate tier, there is another setup. Interest rate. Not this one. Test interest tier. So you can treat the like if it is 1 to 20 days late. First tier. Again, you can create like sequence will be 2. Past due if it is 21 to 30 days. Second tier. So this is this kind of interest tier you can create 3, like 30 to 31 to 60 days. Like that you can create. Then for this tier again you have to create one rate schedule. Manage late charge schedule. So here you have to provide what is your rate schedule, charge schedule, and you have to attach your interest tier here and provide the interest rate. Okay. So for this like late transactions, you can see here, this is one tier interest rate. Percentage is 10%. So they have attached. If you want to create another one, multiple tier rate schedule. This is more complex. rate schedule. Accordingly, it will, you have to, whatever you created, right? Interest, test interest tire, which I created now. So charge method will be percentage or amount. Let me give me percentage active. Should we start from January 1st? Then first tire, it is 1 to 30 days, right? 1 to 10 days. It will be suppose 5%. Then my interest tire, if it is second tire, it is like 10 to 30 days late, then it will be suppose 7%. Third tire, if it more than 30 days, it is 10% charges. Like that, you can create your interest tire, and you have to attach that into your customer profile late charge policy. Once you create that, then we don't have to set up prospective all complete. Then what you have to do? Just you have to run the late charge program. Then system will calculate. So here there is a program called late charge. Maybe it is in receivable side. So account receivable, you have to navigate. Manage late charge batch. So here you can see the batch, but you have to run that program from schedule. To go to schedule process. From tools, you can navigate to schedule process. Run the program. Generate, create late charge batch. So what is the purpose of this batch? Generate late charge for transactions that are overdue or have late payment. Business unit will be for which specific business unit you have to select. And customer name. Either you can do it for all the customers or any specific customer. Here you will see for Dixon industry, for which we reviewed the late charge policy, right? January will for 1 quarter you will do, because mostly the late charge will be delayed payment. So let me run for 1 quarter. Currency, for which currency you are calculating. First, you can run it in a draft mode and review how it is calculating the late charge. Then profile class name, it's not mandatory, but you can give if you want, but it's not required because from the system like customer profile class, it will calculate the late charge. Submit. Once you run that report, it will give you one report, late charge report. Okay, so let me save this report. So I have submitted this report for Dixon Industries for 1 quarter. Okay. And you can see the invoice are calculated, right? It created invoices, interest invoice, and calculated the late charge. So here you can see one invoice. This is the invoice number. And the original amount of the invoice is 21,000. Overdue amount, it's not paid. And days late is 148 days. For 148 days, in our flat interest rate is 10%. So interest charge is 10,000 something based on that calculation. Interest rate, it's calculated the interest rate and penalty. We have enabled the penalty also. For the same invoice, there is a flat rate of $25 we have provided, right? We have mentioned that there will be a flat amount of $25 penalty. So for all the invoices, all the outstanding invoice, it will calculate in the same manner all the late charge for that quarter. This is draft, but if you submit the final version, it will create invoice. You will be able to review. Manage transaction. So this is the invoice for the Dixon Industries. $52,000 something, right? Is the original amount. And on that amount, we have 199 days late, 10% interest. So interest charge is 34,000. If you run in final mode, I have run in draft mode. Let me run this in final mode. Close it. Schedule process. Generate late charge. Not late charge report. I have to rather create late charge, right? First January to currency GST. Now I'll run this in final mode. Accounting date also I'll make it increase. Okay. So if you want to see the late charge invoice created, just you can query with this invoice, right? Manage transaction. Business unit USD1, right? US1 business unit and the customer, for which customer you are running. Your bill to customer is Dixon Industries. Transaction type. Which transaction type we are using? Invoice. Debit memo interest. Debit memo. Once this program is complete, you will be able to see here what are the invoice created. You can see the transaction source. That is also is a part of setup. ISQT. So let's just transaction source. That also you have to create. So you have to create all this setup. 3 transaction type and one transaction source for late charge, rate schedule, interest tier, customer profile class, and customer side. You have to assign the late charge policy. Then you'll be able to see all the late charge transactions. Penalty also interest, right? Yeah, so receivable activity you can able to see as a penalty charge. Penalty charge should actually show here as a activity, transaction activity. Why not sure why it is disabled? But the penalty component also 25 for each invoice. It should show here as a part of transaction activity. Okay. Oh, here it is showing penalty charge as a line, separate line. So this is the interest amount like debit memo, and this is the additional penalty charge. It's created a separate line for 25. So this is the late charge process. You can implement if your business require.
What are this? complexities involved in late charges? Would there be any complexities in general?
Complexities,
It's
it is there if you are using the interest tier.
mm,
And lot of
okay.
lot of disputes will be created from the customer side.
Correct.
And they will always tell you or to reverse the late charge. Like they will not
Correct.
accept
Waive
whatever
of the
the
late
yeah,
charge.
correct. And there is another scenario someone was telling. PK, are you there?
Yes, yes. Yes,
So in our last training, you were telling about some scenario, a late charge scenario, where there is
Right.
complexity and you are not able to handle it, right?
Right.
That was the requirement. Can you explain here?
Yeah. The requirement on the every month, whatever the outstanding charges, only the date when it last time calculated the late charge, from that point onwards, they need to calculate the late charge with the separate invoice, late charge interest invoice.
No.
And throughout the period, irrespective of the type, the delay time also, there will be a fixed percentage of the penalty, means interest.
No, for example, suppose the invoice is 30 days late.
Right.
So as per your late charge policy, it will create one invoice, right? For 30 days, it will calculate. Correct?
Right. Whenever late charge is getting calculated, that time the new interest invoice will get created based upon the outstanding period.
Outstanding period. So once it is generated, then customer will make the payment, right?
Right.
Suppose the
And
customer
if that is the case, and again, even after calculating that interest invoice separately, and that is also delay as per the payment term.
Okay.
Again,
so that means
that invoice also will get considered for the late charges.
So there will create the second invoice, right?
That is the second invoice.
Why we are not using
But
the
why
interest tier? Yeah, go ahead.
Why does it have to be separate invoice and not late charge? I mean, it is a late charge, right? Why did they have to create it as a separate invoice?
No, late charge, that is based upon the business requirement. Na? If business want there is no separate need of the separate invoice, then in the existing invoice itself they can
Add the late
charge
charge.
the interest with the adjustment.
Correct.
And if they want to separate invoice, then for the interest amount only they will create the interest invoice. And going forward, if there is also that new invoice also crossing the payment terms, then that will also consider as your standard invoice for the late charges. It depends upon the business scenario.
Okay, so whenever you are calculating the second invoice, will it compound the late charge of the first invoice and original invoice, or only original invoice? It will
both. It is both. See, system understand only the payment term, irrespective of whether it is last time it was original invoice or whether it is a late charge interest invoice.
Yeah.
Payment only criteria system will see
but if
whether
you
it
create
is paid.
But if you create it as a separate invoice, the payment term would be longer than the interest rate period, right? Like,
no, they are not considering the payment term here.
Payment term will be same.
Okay.
Yeah, but as per late charge policy, like So whatever the
15
delayed
days.
payment delayed
Yep.
date, it will calculate.
Okay. Yes, interesting scenario. So that's not complexity, it's more of a business requirement that they have to create a late charge as a separate invoice and then.
The maintenance, lot of
only-
maintenance activity.
Yeah.
Only the thing is, if they want the separate invoice, only some few additional steps required. We need to create the transaction type and transaction source separately. If they want the interest invoice separately, otherwise,
Oh,
if they want to go with the adjustment itself, then just the late charges, whatever the criteria, percentage, payment term, on or before that option need to be selected only.
is
No
this
need
only
of
for a
the,
particular customer or all the customers?
no, it is based upon the profile,
Profile.
and that
Yeah.
profile is assigned to the respective customers. So
Okay, so every time he gets a late charge, he wants it as a separate invoice.
yes.
Okay.